Water is a fundamental resource upon which life on this planet is based, and being able to find water anywhere else other than our very own Earth, it's a big deal. So in this episode of Stargazing Saturdays, let's take a look at our moon through my telescope, and also let's talk about the recent discovery of water on the sunlit side of the moon. So let's get started. Our moon is a fairly desolate place, and without having an atmosphere of its own, it's simply impossible for it to sustain water in the form as we know it on its surface. To give you some numbers, the average concentration of water on the moon is somewhere around 500 to 750 parts per million. That's drier than the Sahara Desert, but something is better than nothing, right? The concentration of water decreases as we go from the poles to the equator, and as I mentioned before, most of this water is found in the ever-shadowed craters, and that's for a reason. Because if the water ice had been in contact with the sunlight, the water ice would have evaporated, would have melted and evaporated, and without an atmosphere to hold it together, it would have been long lost to space. But this time around, they detected the presence of water on the sunlit side of the moon. That too in a crater that you can see actually with your eyes. Yeah, this is the Clavius Crater where the presence of water was detected, and I don't see any water from here. Just kidding, guys. All thanks to observations made by SOFIA, short for Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, a flying infrared observatory that studies the sky in, you guessed it, infrared wavelength. But then this is kind of counterintuitive what I just mentioned before. Why didn't the water evaporate in this case? Because this crater is in direct contact with sunlight. The possible explanation that they have for this is either that there is some process that's reviving the water on the surface, or the water is trapped in a way that it can't be evaporated by sunlight, possibly under glass layers on the surface of the moon. So finding water on the moon in a sunlit side, it adds to the possibility of water being uniform throughout the moon. So this is a good thing, because when we are planning to go to the moon and establish a colony, it adds more flexibility to the places that we can visit, because being able to use the water that's present on the moon rather than bringing it with us, it simply solves a lot of problems. Not only do we use water for drinking, we could use that water for making rocket fuel. By splitting the H2O into hydrogen and oxygen, we could use both for making rocket fuel. So that's why the presence of water on the surface of the moon is so important. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. So until next time, keep striving. This is me, a striving amateur. Goodbye.